All right, guys, we are 8-0 in our last $8.99 daily best plays on my Patreon website. And the link for today's $1.99 daily best play is in the description section below. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets at patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, we are 8-0 in our last $8.99 daily best plays on that website. Now, the good news is, if you sign up for that package here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way through the end of May. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my Patreon page. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on patreon.com/BrockPage is I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. Now, I currently have over 805 members who are signed up and active on that website. And if you want to see my current sports betting record, you can actually do that for free right now by going to the homepage. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, if you use BrockPage.com, that'll work as well. It'll just redirect you to Patreon. We've been using the Patreon platform the entire time. But anyway, let's dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Rockies taking on the Pirates, 6:35 Eastern start time on Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Pittsburgh's -135, totals 8 runs. JT Brubaker for Pittsburgh, Chad Kuhl for Colorado. And even though the Rockies have been pitiful on the road, they still have Chad Kuhl on the mound here today, who's 3-2 with a 3.86 ERA. And even if Kuhl shits the bed here today, Amber Heard style, the Rockies still have C.J. Cron, who's got 11 home runs on the year, and bats .329 at the dish. Matter of fact, Cron's currently in the top 5 in home runs, RBI, and OPS. When it comes to team batting average, the Rockies are actually leading the entire majors in that category right now. They're taking on a Pittsburgh squad who struggles offensively at the plate themselves. The Buccos are in the bottom 5 in OPS at the dish, and they're averaging only 3.4 runs a game. And even if they do score a bunch of runs here today, they have JT Brubaker, who's winless on the year, along with a 5.50 ERA, so I'm sure he'll mess it up somehow. And aside from his 0-4 record, Brubaker's also got a whip of 1.42. Now, total-wise, Pittsburgh saw overs recently against the likes of St. Louis, Chicago Cubs, and Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Colorado went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Colorado plus 1.5, and the over 8 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Cubs-Reds, 6:40 East. Chicago's -120, totals 9. Drew Smyly for the Cubs, Vlad Gutierrez for Cincinnati. And even though Vlad's been terrible, the Reds got the W in 6 out of their last 10. And they're doing a nice job of striking batters out at home. And much to my surprise, the Reds are also in the top 10 in fewest home hits allowed. Now, when it comes to offensive production in this one, Brandon Drury, Tyler Naquin, and Colin Moran, they all have over 20 RBI apiece, respectively. They're taking on a Cubbies team who struggled over the past week or so themselves. These guys went just 1-4 straight up in their last 5. And they're amongst the worst road-scoring teams in the National League. They also have Drew Smyly on the bump here today, who ain't been smiling much in his last couple of starts. Might as well call him Drew Frowny. This guy's just 1-5 on the year with a 138 whip. Now, total-wise, Chicago saw their last 3 straight on the road fall under the posted number. Meanwhile, the Reds have gone 70% to the under in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to lean towards Cincinnati plus $1 and the under 9 runs. Next matchup, O's Yankees, 7:05 East. The New York Yankees are -320, total 7.5. Garrett Cole for New York. Jordan Lyles for Baltimore. Now, Lyles is just 2-4 on the season with a 4.11 ERA and a 1.39 WHIP. And even if Lyles throws a good one here today, this Baltimore lineup's in the bottom 5 in baseball in road scoring. They're going up against Garrett Cole here today, who's been outstanding to start the season. He's a perfect 4-0 with a 2.89 ERA and 51 strikeouts. Meanwhile, offensively, Aaron Judge is leading the majors in home runs with 15 of them. And speaking of home runs, this Yankee lineup is, in fact, leading the Bigs right now in home runs per contest. When it comes to the total in this one, New York went 60% to the under in their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, Baltimore's 13-6 to the under when they travel. I'm going to lean toward New York -1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. Next matchup, it is going to be Dodgers Nats 7:05 East. LA's -210, totals 9. Tyler Anderson for Los Angeles. Yohan Adon for Washington. Now Adon continues to be dreadful. He's just 1-7 with a 6.38 ERA and a 1.64 WHIP. And the Nats as a team, they've been fairly dreadful as well. Losers of 7 out of their last 10. They're also just 5-15 straight up in their own stadium. They're taking on a Dodger team who won 7 out of their last 8 themselves. And they lead the league in scoring. Freddie Freeman's batting .301 with 22 walks and 21 RBI. Meanwhile, Trey and Justin Turner each have 29 RBI apiece. Both of those guys are in the top 10 in the majors in that category. And even if for some reason the bats don't come alive here today, the Dodgers have Tyler Anderson on the mound, who hasn't lost a game yet. The lefty's a perfect 4-0 with 34 strikeouts and a 1.09 WHIP. When it comes to the total in this one, LA's 14-6 to the under as the away team. Meanwhile, Washington's 15-5 to the under in Nationals Park. I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers -1.5 and the under 9 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Phillies Braves 7:20 Eastern start time. Philadelphia's -120, totals 8 runs. Zach Wheeler for Philadelphia, Tucker Davidson for Atlanta. And even though Tucker's been a bit shaky in limited action, he's officially 1-0 on the season with a bunch of strikeouts and obviously 0 losses. Now, offensively, the Braves have done a nice job hitting for power. They're amongst the best home run hitting teams in the National League right now. Austin Riley and Marcell Ozuna, they each have 8 home runs apiece. Ozuna also has 20 RBI. Now, they're taking on a Phillies squad who lost 5 out of their last 7 themselves. They've had significant problems striking out at the plate. Matter of fact, the Fightins are amongst the worst teams in the National League in strikeouts per 9 in the box. They also have Zach Wheeler on the mound, who's just 2-3 on the year despite some really good outings. Now, total-wise, this game's being featured as my Major League Baseball tier package bet on patreon.com/Brock Page. Well, I'm currently hitting at 63% my last 24 plays in that package. So if you want to see whether I'm pounding the over or the under in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my Major League Baseball tier package bet on patreon.com/Brock Page. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the Braves plus $1, getting the job done for some money line cash. All right, next ball game I have for you. It is going to be Tigers taking on the Twins, and that's going to be a 7:40 Eastern start time. Minnesota's the $2 favorite at home with the total at 9 runs. Chris Archer is expected on the mound here for Minnesota. Elvin Rodriguez for the Detroit Tigers. Now, the bad news is, guys, unfortunately, I can't give this game out for free here today. It's being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on patreon.com/Brock Page. But the good news is we're 8-0 in our last 8 $1.99 daily best plays on that very same website. And the better news is if you sign up here today for that package, you're going to get access to that membership every single day, all the way through the end of May. So if you want to see whether I'm betting on the money line, run line, or the total in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, moving on. We're going to take a look at this next matchup here. It is going to be Blue Jays taking on the Cardinals. That's going to be a 7:45 Eastern start time. St. Louis is minus $120, totals 8 runs. Miles Mikolas for St. Louis. Jose Barrios for Toronto. Now when it comes to the total in this one, Toronto saw 8 out of their last 10 ball games fall under the number. They're also 3-0 to the under in their last 3 interleague contests. Meanwhile, St. Louis saw unders recently against the likes of Pittsburgh, New York Mets, and San Francisco. When it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my extra daily bet on patreon.com/BrockPage. And that play's only going to cost you just $2.99. Just remember, guys, if you sign up for that package here today, you're also going to get access to the daily best play absolutely free. So if you want to see whether I'm betting on the money line or the run line in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my extra daily bet on my website. But as far as making a free pick is concerned for this ball game, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the under 8 runs in that contest. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Guardians taking on the Astros. And that's going to be an 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Houston's the $2 favorite at home, totals 8.5. Luis Garcia for the Astros, Tristan McKenzie for Cleveland. Now, Kenzie's got 34 strikeouts and a .297 ERA. And even more impressive, McKenzie comes into today's ball game with a sub 1.0 whip. It's actually .97 to be exact. Now, the Guardians' bats have been very active on the road this year. They're actually in the top 3 in the majors in road scoring. And they also got Jose Ramirez, who leads the majors right now in RBI with 37 of them. He's tied for the league lead in RBI. The third baseman's also in the top 10 in the bigs right now in OPS at the plate. Meanwhile, teammate Owen Miller, he's batting nearly 300 on the year himself, along with a dozen doubles at the dish. Now they're taking on a Houston club on the other side of things, who actually struggles offensively in Minute Maid Park. They're currently in the bottom 5 in home scoring, and they're also in the bottom 5 in home hits. Now when it comes to cashing in on the run line, the Astros also have a losing record against the run line at home. When it comes to the number in this one, Houston's 13-4 to the under in front of their home fans. Matter of fact, these guys have gone 74% to the under for the entire season at any location. Meanwhile, Cleveland saw 7 out of their last 10 outings fall under the posted total themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Cleveland plus 1.5 and the under 8.5 runs. Next contest, it is going to be Royals D-backs 9:40 East. Both teams are minus $110, totals 8.5. Zach Davies for Arizona. Zach Greinke for Kansas City. Now, strikeouts have really been down this year for Greinke. He's fanned only 18 batters in 44 innings of work. The righty's also 0-2 on the year. He's still in search for his first win. And even if he does have a pretty good outing here today, the Royals have really struggled on the road. They've won just 6 of 17 when they bat first. They also find themselves in the bottom 5 in home runs per 9 at the plate. Now they're taking on an Arizona club here who actually does a nice job hitting for power themselves. As a matter of fact, these guys currently find themselves amongst the better clubs in the National League right now in homers per game. Christian Walker's got 10 home runs on the season, 21 runs scored as well. Meanwhile, teammate Dalton Varsho and David Peralta, they have 7 home runs apiece respectively. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, Arizona's currently 17-4 to the under at Chase Field. And that's good for 81% in that category. They also saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with Kansas City fall under the total. I'm going to lean toward Arizona minus about 10 and the under 8.5 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be A's Mariners, 9:40 p.m. East. Seattle's minus about 70, total 7 runs. Marco Gonzalez for Seattle, Zach Logue for Oakland. Now Logue's looked pretty good in a handful of starts. He's got a 2.04 ERA and a 1.19 WHIP. The Athletics are also one of the better run line teams on the road. They're 16-6 against the number while traveling. And that's good for 73% in that category. They're taking on a Seattle club who lost their last 4 straight. And they also dropped 7 out of their last 9. Now the Mariners have also struggled to score runs at home this year. They're currently in the bottom 10 in home scoring. And they rank amongst the worst in the American League in home hits. Starting pitcher Marco Gonzalez, he also comes into today's ball game with a 2-4 record and a 1.50 WHIP. When it comes to the total, 8 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings fell under the number. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, Oakland is currently 70% to the under against divisional opponents. I'm going to lean toward Oakland plus 1.5 and the under 7 runs. Next ball game, Brewers, Padres, 9:40 Eastern start time. Both teams are minus about 10 with the total at 8. Adrian Hauser for Milwaukee, Nick Martinez for San Diego. And even though strikeouts are up for Martinez, he's just 2-2 on the season with a 133 WHIP. The Pods have also averaged only 2.4 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Milwaukee. When it comes to offensive problems, the Padres have had a tough time scoring in front of their home fans. These guys are actually in the bottom 3 in the bigs right now in home scoring. They're taking on a Milwaukee lineup who's in the top 5 in homers. And they're led by Willie Adames, Rowdy Tellez, and Hunter Renfroe, who all have 9 home runs apiece, respectively. And no real surprise here, the Brewers are amongst the best in the National League in offensive OPS. Now, pitching-wise, Adrian Hauser has got 31 strikeouts along with a 3.22 ERA. When it comes to the scoring in this one, Milwaukee went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 meetings with the Padres. Meanwhile, San Diego's 11-6 to the under at Petco Park. I'm going to lean toward Milwaukee minus about 10. And the under 8 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Mets-Giants, 9:45 East. San Francisco's minus about 40, total 7.5. Alex Cobb for the Giants, David Peterson for New York. Now, Peterson's looked pretty good through 19 innings of work. He's got a 1.89 ERA and a 1.11 WHIP. The Mets are also doing a real nice job on the road this year. They're actually playing their best baseball while traveling. New York's currently 15-7 straight up when they bat first. And they're cashing in on the run line in nearly 70% of those contests. Pete Alonso's also got 10 home runs on the year. And he's tied for the league lead in RBI with 37. Pete Alonso tied for the league lead in RBI with 37. Meanwhile, Francisco Lindor and Starling Marte, they both have over 25 runs batted in apiece themselves. They're taking on a Giants team who's on a 4-game skid, and they also dropped 6 out of their last 8. Now, pitching-wise, Alex Cobb has had an interesting year, to say the least. The righty's got a 5.61 ERA and a 1.52 WHIP. When it comes to the number in this one, San Fran is 13-8 to the over at Oracle Park. They're also 60% to the over against National League opponents. I'm going to lean toward the New York Mets plus 1.5 and the over 7.5 runs. Of that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, just another friendly reminder, if you do end up signing up for a membership here today on my website, You're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a package here today on my website, you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way through the end of May. Although I do tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. You guys, if you want to get access to every single bet that I offer on my website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.